Lo Sunday. The Lord's Day in white, being the 8th day of the Passover. The lesson is taken from the Holy Gospel according to St. John. At the time, being the same day at evening, the first day of the week, when the doors were shut where the disciples were assembled for fear of the Jews, came Jesus, and stood in the midst, and said unto them, Peace be unto you. And so on. Homily by Pope St. Gregory, the Great, on the Gospels. When we hear this passage of the Gospel read, a question straightway knocketh at the door of our mind. How was it that the body of the risen Lord was a real body, if it was able to pass through closed doors into the assembly of his disciples? But we ought to know that the works of God are no more wonderful when they can be understood by man's reason, and faith has lost her worth when her subject matter is the subject matter of human demonstration. Nevertheless, those very works of our Redeemer, which are in themselves impossible to be understood, must be thought over in connection with other of his works, that we may be led to believe in things wonderful, by mean of things more wonderful still. That body of the Lord, which came into the assembly of the disciples through closed doors, was the same, which at its birth, had become manifest to the eyes of man by passing out of the cloister of the Virgin's womb without breaking the seal thereof. What wonder is it if that body, which had come out of the Virgin's womb, without opening the matrix, albeit it was then on its way to die, now that it was risen again from the dead and instinct forever with undying life, what wonder is it, I say, if that body passed through closed doors? But since the beholders doubted of the reality of that body which they saw, he showed unto them his hands and his side, and allowed them to handle that same flesh which had just passed through the closed doors. In this there were two strange things manifested, yea, things which according to our understanding are contrary the one to the other. His risen body was incorruptible and yet palpable. For whatever can be touched, must needs be subject to corruption, and whatever is not subject to corruption, cannot be touched. But, in a way altogether wonderful and incomprehensible, our Redeemer after his resurrection revealed himself in a body at once palpable and incorruptible, revealed himself in an incorruptible body, that we might learn to seek like glorification, and in a palpable body, for the strengthening of our faith. He revealed himself in a body at once incorruptible and palpable, that he might thereby make manifest the fact that his risen body was unaltered in nature, albeit transfigured in glory. Then said Jesus to them again, Peace be unto you. As my Father hath sent me, even so send I you, that is, as my Father, who is God, hath sent me, who am God, even so do I, who am man, send you, who are men. The Father sent the Son, whom he appointed to be made man for the redemption of man. Him he willed to send into the world to suffer, albeit he whom he sent to suffer was the Son of his love. The Lord sendeth his chosen apostles into the world, not to be happy in the world, but, as he had been himself sent, to suffer. As the Father loveth the Son, and yet sendeth him to suffer, even so doth the Lord love his disciples, albeit he sendeth them into the world, to suffer therein. And therefore it is well said, As my Father hath sent me, even so send I you. That is, while I send you into the wild storm of persecution, I love you all the same. I love you, yea, I love you with a love like that wherewith the Father loveth me, who sent me into the world to bear agony therein. Amen. Benedicat vos omnipotens Deus, Pater, et Filius, et Spiritus Sanctus. Amen.